My name is Jen Cushman. I am an empathic intuitive and I am a Reiki master teacher, and I am studying and learning Huna energy, which is an ancient Hawaiian shamanic energy. And I'm also in the process of doing that as well. I've been doing and teaching Reiki for 20 years and love energy. Energy is my jam, and it is really the basis of everything I talk about. Okay, so we are going to be talking about the energetics today of joy. So, okay, we're going to talk about vibration, we're going to talk about the energetics, and we're going to talk about just a really fun topic and a really nice, light, bright topic. Okay, I have been talking a lot about energetic release and emotional release, and getting rid of our negative emotions and those things. And I mean, it's incredibly super important to be able to switch those things out and be able to clear them out so we can move forward. And I also wanted to do a really nice, light, bright topic today because I felt like everybody needed a little bit of an injection of joy and happiness today. That's what I'm feeling. Spring is definitely and completely in the air. That's why I wore my spring outfit today. And it is really a time of rebirth and renewal, and and growth. Okay, you guys forgive me for that. That's the other thing you've heard me talk about that is as well now. So that is getting the energy moving. So like my nose itching, the gas that's coming up, the burping that's coming up is coming up in every single reading lately. A friend of mine, a shaman friend of mine, said that is just what happens is the reader is moving the energy and really, making sure that you are in touch with your team. So forgive me for that. I apologize, and there's nothing I can do about it. It is, the energy is flowing and moving already. So that's a good thing, right? So, okay. Deep breath. I got a little bit squirrel there. I want to get back on track. Okay. So as you know, and as we've talked about in the past on things, is that we have higher vibration energies, right? So we have emotions, we have feelings that definitely fall in the higher vibration end of the scale, as opposed to the lower vibration end of the scale. Now, we can call them good energies or bad energies. And in reality, that is not really true, okay? Energy is neutral. There is really nothing good or bad about energy. Energy just is. Energy is always moving. It is always in a state of moving. It is either in creation energy, transformation energy, or completion energy. That is the way energy is always going. It is always in a wave, and it is always moving, okay? So energy itself is neither negative or, it is neither bad nor good. Now, let me go back to this. Energy does have polarity, just like a battery does, right? We have a negative end on a battery, and we have a positive end on a battery, and that is called polarity. So energy does respond to polarity. So it does respond to the vibration of negative vibration or positive vibration, and yet not in the way that we humans think about negative and positive, because we think about it as good and bad, okay? So just a little bit of foundational energy talk right there, okay? So one of the things is that the more higher vibration emotions that we have, which would be things like love, gratitude, joy, desire, pleasure, happiness, excitement, just curiosity, all those good vibe feelings, right? The good vibe feelings that we have. Those are on the positive polarity of the spectrum, okay? And then we have the negative emotions, right? So we'll have sadness, fear, shame, guilt, anger. Those kind of things will fall on the more of the negative polarity. Now, again, energy is just neutral, okay? So one of the things that I like to talk about on every Magic Monday is I like to talk about how we can do the work, okay? We are 4 bodies. Remember, I talked about that last week, that we have 4 bodies. We have a spiritual body, a mental body, an emotional body, and a physical body. Now, most people know about the 3 bodies, which is mind, body, and soul. But really, there is a mental and emotional body. Those tend to get lumped together, particularly in psychology. And I like to separate them out, and other people I follow and my teachers have also separated them out into the 4 bodies. When one of our bodies are out of alignment, the rest of us are out of alignment. Okay. So we can be in really great alignment with our physical health. We can be in great alignment with our spiritual health. We can even be heart-centered. But if we have stuff going on in our brain, if we are running a loop, or we are having, this mental thought, which, our egos in our mind, if we are having a lot of that running in there, then what happens is we can have 3 of our bodies in alignment, but 1 of our bodies is out of alignment, and it will affect our energy. It will affect our chakras and how we show up and be able to be in the world. Okay. So one of the things that I'm always trying to strive to do with my clients and for myself is I'm trying to keep my 4 bodies, right? Spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. I'm trying to keep my 4 bodies in alignment. Now, I have to tell you, this is a daily practice, right? It is one of those things. Food and nutrition is a really big part of my physical body, and it can get out of whack because I can choose to put not the best things in my mouth, right? And when my physical gets out of balance, I can feel it. I can feel it. It affects my emotional and my other bodies. Okay. Okay. Let me circle back. So we're going to go back to these high vibe feelings today. And what I really want to talk about is joy. Okay, joy. And joy and happiness, they're the same for a lot of people. They may be different. It's your label. It's whatever you want to put on it, the meaning that you make of your words in your life. So for me, happiness is a wonderful vibration. It's a wonderful energy. And joy is actually a little bit higher of a vibration for me than happiness. So happiness and joy are not the exact same things in my world. And then if you want to get even higher on the energetic spectrum, I will go to bliss. And so bliss out, that's like an amazing high vibration. I'll give you an example of when I was totally blissed out. My daughter turns 14 this summer. She's my miracle baby. And, you guys have heard the story before. And I had a miscarriage before my daughter. So on this pregnancy, and I was 40 years old when I got pregnant with her. So I had a lot of tests, a lot of things to be able to get my miracle baby. And when she came and she was healthy and she was fine, I remember it was day 3 of her being here, and I looked over at her, and my whole neurology, my body, my nervous system completely and totally lit up with bliss, pure and total bliss, because my beautiful baby was here. She was healthy, she was good, and I did it, right? It still makes me cry because the bliss was so intense. Okay, so those are really amazing high vibe emotions. And they really help us in our life. Okay, they help us, those good emotions, those joy emotions, happy emotions, bliss moments. Those moments are really like, they're like the good stuff, like sucking the marrow out of life is when you're able to get to those emotions. And I would love for myself and for you guys to feel these high vibe emotions as often as you possibly can. Okay. Now, what happens is most of the time, we are much more in tune with the lower vibration motions, right? We are much more in tune with anger or sadness or frustration or angst or confusion or overwhelm, right? Those kind of vibrations are just easier to access. And it's just a lot of it is cultural. It's where we live. It's what's going on. It's the media that's constantly coming in at us. Also our own minds, we tend to go to the negative before we go to the positive. There's just a lot of things. There's studies that have been done. There's a lot of psychological studies about how we run our negative emotions much more than we run our positive emotions, right? Or our lower vibe emotions and our high vibe emotions. Here's a study, and I just recently read this the other day, and I thought it was amazing and sad, actually. So at the home, a child, when they are actually at home, a child is more likely to hear 12 negative comments for every one positive comment that they have, right? So, what's conceived, like, why didn't you do that? When are you going to pick up this? I told you to do that, those kind of things, as opposed to, you are amazing. Thank you. I love you. Children are more likely to hear 12 to 1. And that was in a recent psychological study. And you would think at school it would get better, but it actually doesn't. It goes goes 18-1 in school. Okay. So that's just to show you that we are much more conditioned in this society to go towards the negative than towards the positive. So what I want to talk to you about today is I want to talk to you about joy and having a joy muscle. And I would like to challenge you this week to try to build up your joy muscle. Okay. So physiologically, you know that when you want to get fit and you want to get a little bit healthier and you want to strengthen your muscles, we got to get to the gym or we got to do something at home, but we need to do strength training. Okay. So not just cardio. And trust me, I'm not the best at strength training. So I'm not the best one to be talking about, like do as I say, not as I do, but I definitely am doing the cardio. Okay. But so let's say that you want to go and you want to build up your strength. What do? We have to start doing strength training. You've got to do repetitions. You've got to build it up. You've got to put your head in that place that says, I am going to build up my muscles in order to get fit. Now, we know that you have to, we're very good in the Western world, knowing that it takes time to build up your physical muscles. We know that. We know that you can't get fit by going to the gym once. We know that you can't lose weight by eating one salad, right? We have to make a habit of that. We really need to build up our bodies in order to get our muscles and get fit, right? So we know that. That's true. So it is the same thing with our mental and emotional body, okay? We need to do the same thing. We need to do the work. We need to put our head in the place that says, you know what? I have a joy muscle and I have not been having much joy in my life lately. So I want to build my joy muscle. So you can't just think one happy thought and all of a sudden you're going to be blissed out. Okay. It just doesn't work that way. Just like we can't go to eat one salad or go to the gym once and be able to be, fit. It's something that we need to do. So it's one of those things where it's doing the work. It's understanding that you want to bring in this higher vibration of happiness, joy, and bliss, and get to these things. And so you just start working on it. Okay. And if you can start working on building your joy muscle on a daily basis, like literally put your attention towards moments of your day of happiness and joy and bliss, then you're going to get it. Energy flows where attention goes, and intention. I intend to work on my joy muscle for a while today, and attention. I take action to work on my joy muscle today. Energy flows where intention and attention goes. So I would really love you guys to challenge you to really take this week and look at your schedule, look at your time, figure out where you might have pockets of time in there to really build your joy muscle, even put it in your calendar, schedule it in your phone, which by the way, I need to put it on do not disturb. So let me do that. Schedule this in your phone and put it in there and look at your calendar and be like, oh, you know what? I have 10 minutes between 1:15 and 1:25. You know what I mean? That's 15 minutes, but you have 10 minutes and then just put in there and it says joy break. Okay. And then figure out what makes you have joy. Okay. So is it, Adrienne's on here. I know Adrienne finds joy by snuggling her animals, right? Her babies, those are her babies. And, she'll get some, fur baby kisses or some snuggles, and that will actually, make her good hormones actually release in her body. So she'll be able to do that, right? So, it's Dawn. Dawn's on here right now. Donnie, I know that you love to be outside. I know that you love to be puttering with your herbs in your garden and all of your things that you want to do. Your happiness factor might be your joy break, might be just going in and rearranging your herbs for a little bit, so we can do that. Susan, I know that you do your meditation and you do, your Buddhist meditation. Vicky, dancing and music. Okay, that's great. I will get a joy break by giving my husband a hug. He'll come around and he's just this great big mountain man, and he's just, he's a bear, and I'll just come up and give him a nice bear hug, and I'll get that dose of, oxytocin and those feel good chemicals. So, okay. So that's really what I wanted to tell you is let's build our happiness muscle. Let's build our joy muscle. And it's also the last thing I want to tell you about that is neurology, our neurological part of our systems, our nervous systems, right? So we have, I don't want to go into that, but we do have a nervous system. Everybody knows it. So one of the things that we have to do, just like building up our body, right? Just like building up our body to be able to build up our strength training, we also need to build up our neurology so we can actually handle things a little bit better, right? So we have to take our container. So, we have our physical container, our emotional container, mental container, spiritual container. And one of the things we need to do, just like a balloon, right? So you put water in a balloon and you stretch out your container. So practicing doing the work neurologically enlarges your container. So you can actually hold more joy. You can hold more light. You can actually expand your neurology. So you are able to hold more of these positive emotions. So then when the inevitable negative emotions come in, because it's called life, you are able to do the work, right? Do whatever tools and techniques that you have at your disposal that to be able to handle and feel what is coming on at the time with those negative emotions, and then be able to switch it out so you can bring your neurology back online and your container is expanded so you can bring back in those higher vibrations so you can live in a place of more of peace, grounded centeredness, and joy. I love it. So I'm just kind of looking over. I love that you guys, Adrian's saying animal snuggles, daily Pilates practice. I love it. You guys, I love my community and I can't see you, but you have the chat. So do me a favor, everybody, please put in the chat what brings you joy. And please put it in there if you will make a commitment this week to have regular joy breaks. I would love to do it because if you put it in the chat and you make a commitment to yourself and you give your word to me, then hopefully you're the kind of person that won't break your word. And I don't think you will. I think you hang on to your word. So if you guys want to put that there, I would love it. Okay. Okay, so that was huge. So building your capacity for joy, because one of the things that happens is our nervous systems must self-regulate. And our nervous systems are also related to our thoughts, right? Our unconscious mind or our subconscious mind. It also is related to our beliefs, our programming, and our background. And we also have to build our container and our nervous system as well. So let's say, for example, that you come from a family where money is lack. Raising my hand, right? Come from a family where money is lack. There's lack mentality about that. Well, I can't just go and tell myself, oh, I'm going to be an entrepreneur now. And at the end of the year, I'm going to be making $1 million, right? I can't go from X of what I have now to $1 million. I mean, I could if my nervous system had the capacity for it, if I was able to hold the energy of this X to $1 million. Most of us are not able to do that. Actually, very few of us are able to do that. What we need to do is we need to build our container. We need to build our capacity to it, right? We need to take baby steps and have success, know that we can do it, because each success, each time we do something, builds on another success and builds on another success and it builds on another success. So building your joy container, building your capacity is huge. And it is an amazing, incredible thing to be aware of. And it's amazing, incredible daily practice. Okay. So, okay. Now, before I go on and do the reading, I just want to say one more thing. And I actually want to give a story about this. You guys know I love to tell stories, and I usually tell them about myself because, I'd have to get permission to tell other people's stories. But this is an important one, okay? And hopefully you can relate to this and it'll have a little message in it for it, because I'm not here to just talk about myself. I'm actually here to teach. And I do believe by telling stories will teach you, okay? So on my social media, if you guys follow my social media, you will know that, you will know on my social media that I stay pretty positive, right? I am always out there trying to raise the vibration of myself, raise your vibration of the planet, whatever I can possibly do. And I try to stay really positive. Now, it doesn't mean I do spiritual bypassing, because I talk about the hard stuff. And I believe that we have to get through the hard stuff. We can't stuff it down and deny it. That's really what it is. And yet I stay on the positive side. Now, I got a DM from somebody who got really, really triggered by my positivity, and it really upset her. Like, she just couldn't handle it. So, she talked about, I don't want to say what she all went into. She just really kind of, let's just say, she came after me. And it's because she was triggered. Whatever I said, whatever my selfies are, of doing this. Janice, please, you don't keep saying, Janice, please pull card. Hitomi, if you could just tell Janice the rules really quick, that would be helpful. And I'm going to keep going. So thank you for finding us on the hashtag, Janice. And that's not the way I run the community. So Hitomi will help you on that. No foul, no wrong. I appreciate you doing that, but I got to keep going with what I'm doing. Okay. Okay. So the woman was really, she was triggered. She was triggered by my selfies with my smile. She was triggered by my my energy radiating out, my happiness, my joy factor. And I didn't take it personally, right? She's just raw. She was just having a really rough day. And I was being a mirror for her. Okay. So it was a mirror. Excuse me. Let me take a drink. Look at my one, you are my sunshine. So I love these cups. Anyway, I was being a mirror for her. Okay. Now, in the past, if somebody would have done that to me, I would have gotten really triggered myself. Her triggers would have been triggered mine. And I would be like, hey, what the heck's going on? I'm just trying to spread a little positivity here. But because I've done the work, the mental emotional release work and the somatic work and the other work and the tools, I now can recognize she's just having a bad day. And she's just responding the way that I would have used to respond and still can respond when I have a really bad day. And because I have built my joy container, because I have built my happiness container, because I have expanded my neurology, when she just came at me, slid into my DM and just came at me the way she did, it didn't bother me. It didn't get me off track. It didn't get me off center. In reality, I just didn't respond, because I didn't need to respond. And instead, I really did just take my energy of my hands and I really just sent her love and light energy. And I sent her the intention and the attention for peace, love, groundedness, and joy. And if she's unable to access that in her life right now because of what's going on, because some people are having massive trauma right now, and it's not a fun time for them. And I'm not here to say that, they don't deserve their trauma. Like, everybody has to go through their trauma, however they go through it, right? I have incredible compassion for it. So I just sent her a lot of compassion. And that's really what we can do when we can build our muscles. Just like when we first start out walking, we maybe can only walk a half a mile. And then in a while, you find yourself that you can run a marathon. When you do the spiritual and emotional work, it's the same thing. Somebody may trigger you big time and in the beginning, and then once you build up your muscle, guess what? They can't trigger you again because you have raised your vibration to the point where it just doesn't bother you anymore, or maybe not affect you as much. Okay. Okay, you guys, I love it. So that was my love and learn topic for today. I am right on time. I appreciate everybody who put in there what your joy is and what you do. And hopefully that you will have some true, beautiful happiness in your life this week. Okay. I send the intention to you for incredible amounts of joy and happy this week. Okay. And for you to be able to build your neurology for it.